Fortnite just released the 2 trailers for the new chapter, and I think it looks like one of the best seasons of Fortnite we've ever seen. We got to see how the map is looking, these crazy new bosses we're going to fight. We got an idea of what mythics and items we're going to get in the game. Are we getting hit scan or bullet travel time? Do we have attachments coming back? There's a whole bunch to talk about. I'm going to break down everything you need to know. Let's jump into it. There's a lot to break down. Let's keep it simple. The map. We did get a lot of ancient Japanese POIs and locations like we were expecting. We have the gigantic ancient turtle that looks so friggin' cool. I hope this moves around constantly. It isn't just in one place because that would be so incredibly fun. But instead of just getting these kind of like ancient Japanese temples and POIs that look very old, we also have what kind of looks more like a modern Japanese city. And I don't mean like mega city where it's like a Tokyo with gigantic skyscrapers and lights and all of that. It just looks like kind of what I would imagine more of a modern temporary Japanese city would look like, which I think is really, really cool. I know a lot of people are going to say that the Japanese city by, comparison to these crazy temples is a little bit plain, but I kind of like that. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. If every single area on the map with these crazy temples and old school buildings, it would all kind of look the same. It would feel the same. I like the fact that Fortnite is giving us diverse biomes or areas. Now, one of the POIs we got a very big glimpse into, this kind of like dragon red portal thing that is behind the characters in the main screen. I thought that was just to look cool. I thought it was just kind of like they're standing in front of it, just looks awesome. No, it is actually a portal that when you go through it, you fight whatever this thing is. It's like an ancient Japanese magical spirit boss. Like, this just looks absolutely insane, and it might not even be the most insane thing revealed in this trailer. You're also gonna fight gigantic stone statues that come to life and try to fight you. I don't know what's happening. I'm super here for it. It's awesome. I never saw this coming, but we've gone from fighting Ice Spice, who's just a character with an assault rifle who kind of just, you just shoot her a few times in the head and then you get her loot, to fighting whatever this thing is. And it looks like it has crazy abilities. Looks like it has like some kind of puppet master controlling it. I'm super stoked for this. I've thought bosses are way too easy for such a long time. Yes, it sucks when you die to an NPC. It feels terrible, especially when it was something cheesy like the Mandalorian sniping you out of the sky. But I feel like this feels like an actual epic battle against a real boss that then makes it feel like the loot will be worth it. Yes, it's probably going to be a nightmare trying to fight this and getting third-partied. I hope you can go in and out of the portal to like engage and disengage. Maybe once you step through, no one else can come through until the boss dies. I don't know, but there is so much potential with these new portals and these crazy new bosses. It looks like this might not even be the craziest boss or thing we have to deal with on the map. We have Godzilla. And now we knew we were getting Godzilla. We didn't know whether it was going to be like a cosmetic or whether it was going to be in the new game. There is a gigantic Godzilla at the end of this trailer that I'm guessing we have to fight. I don't really know how this is going to work. It feels like something that would be in an LTM. I don't think every single game there is going to be a gigantic Godzilla that we have to somehow take down. Maybe you can like get it on your team somehow. I really honestly couldn't even tell you how I think the Godzilla is actually going to function, because I don't see how it could work. Maybe it just spawns on certain POIs, and while you're fighting in the POI, you have to deal with the fact that there's like another element of a giant Godzilla just shooting beams of energy and fire and whatever it is doing into the map. I don't know. I could not tell you, but I'm super, super excited for it. Now, these are obviously some pretty insane things that we have to overcome. So what are we getting to do that with? What weapons do we have so far? So it looks like we are getting a sword item. I talked about it yesterday. Obviously, we're going to get some kind of katana weapon. It looks like it has mostly a melee ability attached to it with a little bit of movement. It looks like you could do some kind of bigger jump once you have it. I don't know whether it's going to work like the old kinetic blade where you can teleport around the map. Speaking of though, we do have the kinetic blade in the new season. I wasn't sure whether Fortnite was going to do this. It was a super beloved item. A lot of people have been asking for it to come back. Really balanced mobility for competitive, and all-round great item. But I thought Fortnite was going to try and come up with all new items for a new chapter. They seem to really not like to bring back old items when kicking off a new chapter. It's normally something we get in like season 2 or 3, but we have the kinetic blade coming back, which fits perfectly with the theme of this season. I'm super excited for it. So it looks like maybe this new item will just purely be a melee ability that gives you a little bit of mobility, where the katana blade is going to be weaker with the actual attack, but way better as far as mobility. I'm guessing. Now, that's not really enough to take on, Japanese magic spirits and giant statues and Godzilla, but it looks like the new Oni masks will. I talked about this. It looks like you're going to be able to get the masks from around the map. You can actually see one of the characters has them on his hip at 50 seconds in. I don't know whether he has equipped them or whether this is just part of the skin. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like you put on the mask and you gain different abilities. We see someone in the trailer using the fire mask to literally shoot fire. I'm guessing it's going to kind of be like an item that you carry, and then you equip the item by just selecting it, and then you can use the abilities. I don't think it's going to work like a jetpack or the other items that once they're in your inventory, they're always on. That would be a little bit broken, but I guess we'll see. I said I wasn't the biggest fan of mythics in the new season, especially for competitive. I kind of hope these items are going to be just in public matches and maybe ranked for a bit of fun, but they aren't going to be actually in competitive. Depends how strong they are. They might be terrible, but we've had a few medallions now recently. The scan coin, the dash coin. We now have had the Brutus minigun, where it's really felt like if you don't have that item, every other team is at a severe disadvantage and only one team gets to use them. That storyline is getting a little bit boring. I'm going to be honest, some people still love it, but with the way that competitive Fortnite has developed, usually the best team, Peterbot, gets an uncontested 6 games out of 6, and it's almost impossible for any other team to stop them. Yes, you could make the argument, why didn't someone just drop on them? But you go drop on Peterbot and tell me how it goes. It just isn't really working for competitive anymore, and that's what makes me scared for mythics. Hopefully these mythics are good, they're fun, but they're not too overpowered, and then I'm totally fine with them being in the game. I just don't want another Brutus minigun situation or Eminem's minigun where, almost every team on every region who drops there is winning every tournament. Now, the big question a lot of people are waiting for, do we have bullet travel time coming back again, or are we sticking with hit scan weapons? And the answer is, I don't know. There's a lot of people who have watched the trailer and said that it looks like we have bullet drop because you shoot the bullet and you can see it traveling. So if you slow it down, you can see it traveling. But shout out to the one nuked on Twitter who actually pointed out that if you freeze it, it looks like even though the bullet is traveling to the target in the trailer, the hit marker showing it as hit is instantaneous when the player shoots the gun. So it looks like we are actually getting hit scan to stay in the game like we've had this season, rather than going back to bullet travel time like we have for the rest of Chapter 5. If I've lost you on this, you're confused, all it means is it looks like all of the guns are going to be back to where if you shoot over any distance, they instantly hit. You don't have to lead your shots like you do with weapons like sniper rifles. Again, it could just be how the trailer looks, but right now it looks like we are going back to hit scan. Whether you love it or hate it, it looks like we are getting attachments returning to Fortnite as well for Chapter 6. A lot of the weapons have scopes on them and different items that when you look at other weapons later, look different. Again, this could not be true in the end, but it looks like right now I'm about 95% sure we are getting attachments in Chapter 6, which I was kind of 50-50 on. They're a cool idea, but they do really add a lot of complexity to the game, not always in a good way. A lot of new players come to the game, find it confusing, trying to figure out what all the attachments are and what do they do. As far as competitive goes, it sometimes does feel a bit unfair when you loot an entire POI and you don't get the gun with the right scope you needed, but a lot of people could argue that makes the game more fun. It makes it more exciting. You have to adapt and change your playstyle based on the weapons. I just hope that wherever we can put attachments on the guns is a lot more fun than the bunkers. The reason why weapon attachments, in my opinion, felt so terrible in Chapter 5 is because you could never put the attachments you wanted on them unless you waited until, halfway through the game when the whole lobby is dead in a pub or a ranked game to then have to go into a bunker, hope there's not a kid camping, and then when you try to get out, hope they don't armor wall you in and you die to storm. It just wasn't a very fun experience. If there's another way to add, your attachments to your gun that feels more fun and rewarding, I'm totally fine with attachments staying in the game. We'll have to wait and see whether they actually are in, but I'm pretty sure they are. We also have some new mechanics. I talked in yesterday's video how leakers said we're going to get a prone ability and a swinging ability. I already talked about those, but prone is the ability to lie down. Swinging looks like it's going to be different areas of the map. You can swing off things like ropes or chandeliers, but in this trailer, we have guaranteed wall jumping or wall running. It looks like you can run close to walls and jump off them, which is going to be ridiculous. I can't wait for kids to get crazy good at this. So I'm fighting someone in a box. I've got them full pieced. They start jumping off the walls and they're one pump me. Like, it's going to be crazy, but it does look really, really fun. It looks really interesting and it fits a Japanese theme. Obviously, samurai sprinting around, jumping off walls, doing crazy parkour things. It looks like there's some kind of like a super jump. I don't know if this is tied to the katana or you're just going to be able to do this super massive jump. I hope it's attached to the katana. I feel like if you could just do this in the middle of a build fight, it would be a little bit crazy. Maybe it uses up a whole bunch of stamina and you can only do it once every so often. Could be kind of cool to play around with, but it might be attached to the weapon. But it looks like the wall running is definitely a new mechanic that you can do around any wall that allows it. So I'm super excited to see how that plays out around actual, player built builds, not just actual buildings. I wonder if you can, like, while you're rotating, throw a wall and run on it and keep building walls so you can kind of like, bridge the gap between two different types. I might be thinking a little bit too far ahead here, but it has me very, very excited. It looks like there's new companions or like NPCs. It almost looks like you carry them around as an item in your inventory that you then throw down. It kind of just looks like a chug keg that you're carrying around, but it's a little creature, and then it dances around you and heals you and your teammates. I think I've got that right. So it doesn't seem like it's really that different from the chug keg. Maybe they're kind of playing with this idea of having, how big pots and medkits, you start healing straight away and then you cancel them. Maybe you can like throw it down, it heals you, and then pick it back up. So it's kind of like a movable chug keg. It might just be honestly a shield keg they wanted to turn into a character because it's cute and different, and it has no different mechanics. It's literally just looks different. I don't know, but I'm here for it. It looks cool. There's also leaks of other like sprite-like characters, like these cats that you're carrying to certain areas to gain things. This could be like that as well. It could just be you pick them up, they sit in your inventory, you carry them around, and then you do certain things with it. I don't think this little shield healing NPC will be the only one that we see in chapter 6. I think they're going to play around with this idea a lot more, and again, I think that could be really, really cool. Outside of the weapons being hit scan versus bullet drop, we did get our first look at what the new shotgun is going to look like. And honestly, at this point, it kind of looks and sounds like the makeshift shotgun, which I know won't have a lot of people very excited. It does look like it has a very tight bullet spread. It looks like based on how the gun works, it's going to shoot slower, kind of like a pump shotgun. I hope it hits a lot harder than the makeshift shotgun. I personally am hoping for chapter 6 to go back to a slower shotgun meta. Gatekeeper just got really boring really fast. I found it to be quite unskillful. Half the time it was just whoever shot first, not whoever was the most accurate or had the best piece control, the best angles. If you shot twice before your opponent shot twice, you almost always won the fight. And I find that a little bit boring. Personally, it's just me. So I do hope that this shotgun is going to be strong and it is going to be meta, because with the really tight bullet spread and hopefully slow shots, I think it would be very skillful and really fun to use. After going back to, chapter 2 OG this season, it did make me realize just how much I missed the pump shotgun being meta. It's been really fun to watch, especially the pro players have to be a bit more skillful with their peaks and their angles, not just jumping in and hitting their button twice and then they win the fight. Honestly, overall, if you have watched both the trailers and you're not excited for the new chapter, I don't know what to tell you. This is probably the most excited I've been for a new season or a new chapter. The fact they've already announced what's going on with competitive, and it sounds amazing as well, just has me so incredibly excited. I am confused that Epic released these trailers, the day or two before the new chapter. Normally they wait until downtime. I did see that leakers started posting them first, so maybe Fortnite had them ready to post once the leakers did in case they got leaked, but that doesn't usually sound like how Fortnite reacts. In the past, we've had some insane leaks of entire chapters or seasons trailers being leaked, and Epic says nothing until their regular official release date. So I don't know if it was Fortnite responding or whether they're trying something new, but I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Are you more excited now because they've released the trailer, or do you wish they saved it for the downtime? Either way, chapter 6 is looking crazy. If you are excited to bring in the new chapter and you need someone to keep you company during downtime, twitch.tv/AussieAntics. I'll be live the whole time bringing all the hype, because this is going to be a banger season.